will also come unto you. So when you choose your government, like in politics, there is a new debate going on. And it's not actually new, for it has been going on even here in America for so long. The law talks about the power to vote, the power of the vote. There was a time that your leader is chosen for some people because they were not supposed to vote because of the color of their skin, because of their status, because they are less than a human, as they understood it then to be. Because they were women, because of their sex, they were considered to be inferior, to be a property, just like black people were property, for example, here in America. But I'm talking about things of the past. Then we had the power to be able to vote. Like most people in the world have the power to vote. So their leaders are no longer chosen for them. So they choose who leads them. So when a leader is wicked and evil, they have chosen wicked and evil. And they say God has chosen the leader, for God is the one that makes the leader. But that's not the truth, because God did not erect somebody to lead you. You have led somebody into leadership over you. And we believe in democracy. And democracy, as we have made, and as we know, that even though, for example, it is said to originate from Greeks, but we know that's not where it started. But I'm not going to get into the history of democracy today. But I'm here to tell you, the soldiers, the obligation and the civic duty that you owe to yourself, to your children, to your people, to your nation, to your tribe, to your country, in the choice of the government of yourself. For self-governance, self-governance is a natural right, is a gift to you. But you can learn, and in that right, you can exercise that right, that gift, by giving it to somebody else through your vote. You give your vote to someone else in your election of the person to govern you, because you're supposed to govern yourself and your life and your children, your family. But now you are extending a power and the authority onto the applicant, those that are applying for a job for you. They're applying for a job. They want to be your representative. They want to be your governor. They want to be your president, your leader. Now they come to apply for the job, and then they ask you for the power and the authority, power of attorney, to represent you in the self-governance government. That's why it's called government of the people, by the people, for the people. I am, by casting my vote, electing you to govern me, my family, govern our community and us, to protect our own interests and preserve our rights and our freedom, our liberty, our free will, and all the powers that we have given and vested in you for our own good. So I am governing myself, by myself, for myself. And that's the power that I'm giving to you in the vote that I cast. Now, who owns that vote? Who does that vote belong to? For we have heard different theories. Some say it belongs to the government. Some say it belongs to the person. Some say it belongs to the party. Some say it belongs to the applicant, the politician that is elected or seeking for election. But who actually does it belong to? I must tell you, as the soldiers today, in your exercise of your civil rights and exercise of your God-given free will, to do everything you can to protect the vote, because the vote belongs to you. The vote does not belong to the government. It doesn't belong to the politician. Neither does it belong to the party. The party is only a platform that is used by the applicant in order to delineate his or her terms. What he's selling himself to you. He is making a promise to you. And I think the best way to exercise it is to use the law of contract so that you can understand what it means before I go into the scriptures. Because we know in a democracy, especially in constitutional democracy, it is a social contract. And as a social contract, it is also enforceable under the law. That is why you see that it's coded in law in so many things. The government make laws governing how the election will be conducted. And the government themselves are representing you because the government has, as a sovereign, is only established by God for the legitimacy of protecting those rights that you have, that God has given you. It is the reason why you obey the government and follow the laws that they have made that is in agreement with the laws of God. As we know that the soldiers do not obey any law that is against the law of God. In the book of Romans chapter 13, you will hear the discussion about that and the argument. And Peter also in his letters made the same argument why you must listen and follow the instructions from the government. Because they are an instrument, an authority that is also established by God. But what is the authority? Is it the individual that is there, or is it the position? The Lord establishes the position. If that position is to implement the will of God and the plans of God, consistent with God's plan for you, for humanity. But who steps into that position to be able to exercise those kind of powers and the authority? That's where the power of the vote comes. So as a social contract, when you make those decisions, because you will eventually be held accountable for the vote that you cast. We already discussed that in the past. How you will be held accountable for your actions. So I'm not going to go back into that. But as a social contract, there you have an intent. That's my intention. Because if I break it into the contract, you see now, the issue of intent.